Can we freaking stop with the automatic sensor thingies in restrooms? Because they are awful. No one in the history of ever has had a good experience with them. Ever. Like, first, when you're using the toilet, one of two things happens. Either you're sitting there and you're not done with your business yet, and the toilet's like, no, I think you're done. And it just flushes while you're still sitting on it. And no one likes that. It's gross. Splashes all the toilet water all over your ass. It draws everyone in the public restroom's attention to the stall that you're in, which is then super awkward because then they're expecting you to come out any moment because the toilet flushed, but you're not done and you still need to finish. So then you're just sitting there with like crippling anxiety, imagining that everybody's just gathered around the outside of your stall waiting for you to come out, and that anxiety makes it harder to keep pooping. And then it just like repeats that scenario like 3 or 4 more times before you're finished. And that's just like bad for the environment because it's like wasteful and it's using a bunch of water for no reason. And then the other half of the time, it's the opposite, and it never freaking flushes. And then you gotta sit there and find the button to make it flush. And then once you find it, it's not like the old manual style flushers you can just push with your foot. Then you still have to touch the stupid toilet anyway, and it's defeating the whole, like, not getting germs on your hands aspect of the whole automatic deal. And if you somehow manage to make it through that whole part of the experience without any severe emotional trauma, then you need to go contend with the soap dispensers and sinks that all have these stupid sensors on them too. So then you walk up to the sink, and you start waving your hand underneath the soap dispenser like an idiot. Nothing fucking happens. And then after 45 seconds of practicing your best parade wave underneath it, it might finally spit out some soap, but it's after your hand has passed it, so it goes right into the fucking sink. So once you figure out the gang sign that's actually required to get the soap into your hand, and now you gotta wash it off. Then after 45 more seconds of waving your hand around like an Irish priest who's rushing through communion because he's late for happy hour on St. Patty's Day, you finally find the sweet spot that turns the sink on. Of course, by that point, your hands aren't under the sink, so you're just like washing your forearms. And then as soon as you move a 1/4 inch to try to get your hands under the water, the thing shuts off again. So then the sink just continues to taunt you for the rest of this hand washing experience. Every time you start to scrub your hands to wash them, it just keeps turning on and off at random, like shh, shh, shh. Like the dude from the insurance commercial with the dollar bill on the fishing pole, like, ooh, you gotta be quicker than that. So eventually you just have to give up, and there's a fair amount of soap still on your hands. And at this point, you're just hoping that they have the paper towel dispenser so you can actually like wipe the rest of the soap off. So then you're there like a castaway trying to flag down an airplane just to get a paper towel. And they give you one like chintzy little square that's not nearly enough to actually do the job you needed to do at this point. And that's the best case scenario. Worst case scenario, they got the blowing hand dryer things that are automated. And after waving around a whole bunch to get those things to turn on, you're just drying the leftover soap right onto your hands. Seriously, no one asked for this. So can we stop? Because this was a problem that did not need to be solved.